We made all the videos of this series in high definition for a better viewing experience. We advise you to watch them in HD. We made these videos not to be bandwidth intensive so that they can stream easily in high definition quality even on slowest DSL speeds like below 1 Mbps. To shift to HD mode while watching these videos on YouTube, click on the little wheel below the seat bar and change the video quality to 720p. If you do not watch these videos in high definition, text in Matlab window might be too blurred or too small. This is what the Matlab Desktop looks like in version 7. This is the default look and can be customized. If your Matlab Desktop doesn't look like this, here is how you can restore it to the default layout. Go to the menu bar on Matlab, click on Desktop, choose Desktop Layout and click on Default. You will see 4 sub-windows in Matlab window. The big one at the center is called Command Window. Notice the name in its title bar. Inside Command Window, you will see a cursor blinking beside 2 greater than symbols called the prompt of Matlab. The command window is place where we give all commands to Matlab. In turn, Matlab gives back all the text output in the same window. Let me show you an example. We have a command called version, which tells us the version of Matlab being run. So this says I'm running 7.12 or R2011A. So command window is what we'll use to communicate with Matlab. Note that the window can give you only text output. All graphics, for example, the plots we'll create in chapter 3, will come in separate windows called figure windows. To the right of command window, on the top, I have what is called as Workspace. Workspace window shows you the variables you are currently using in Matlab. Let me create some variables and show you. Creating variables in Matlab is straightforward. Choose a variable name and assign a value to it. For example, a equals to 100. Another example, let's say b equals to 20. ABC equals to, let's say, 8. BCD equals to 0. Notice these variables that I just created visible in the Workspace window. Workspace window shows you variables only in this session of Matlab. What I mean by a session is, if you have Matlab running, that instance of Matlab is a session. If you are on a PC and you double-click on the Matlab icon while you already have a session of Matlab running, the computer will open yet another instance of Matlab. The new instance is a separate session of Matlab and you can have 2 or more sessions running simultaneously. Each session will have its own workspace. That means variables created in one session will not be available in the workspace of another session. Below Workspace window is what is called as Command History. Notice the name again in the title bar. Command History, as its name indicates, is a log of everything you type inside Command Window. When you type something in Command Window and hit return, it's saved in history. You can see that all that I typed in Command Window a few moments ago is listed here in the chronological order. Command History gives you a quick reference to previously used commands. You can also drag and drop or copy paste from here into Command Window. For example, I can drag the statement b equals 20 into Command Window. Or I can copy this command b equals to 20 and paste it in any text editor and also Workspace. All that you type in Command Window in a session of Matlab will be grouped under a timestamp corresponding to the date and time you started the session. Your session lasts as long as you have your Matlab running. When you reopen Matlab, you will be able to see the commands used in the previous sessions. To the left of my command window is current folder. In earlier versions of MATLAB, current folder is called as current directory. Current folder or current directory is just any folder on your computer which can contain your project files. The folder could be on your hard drive, a USB drive, or on a network drive. The folder that is now selected as current folder is shown here. This means MATLAB is my current folder. And the address where current folder is located or the complete path to the current folder is shown by the address bar which sits on your toolbar. So this tells me that my current folder, which is MATLAB, is inside the folder called Documents, which itself is inside my home directory. Currently, my folder MATLAB is empty because I haven't put any files in it. I'll open this folder in my computer window and show you. This is my home folder. I navigate to Documents and therein to MATLAB, and you see that this directory is completely empty. Let me drag in a few files into this folder. I have 3 files on my desktop, the first 2 of which are spreadsheets containing some data. This file, sync2d.fig, is a MATLAB figure file. Let me drag this into my current directory MATLAB. I'll navigate to desktop, which has my files, and I will drag these files into my current folder. Now you see the 3 files in the current folder window here. You can make any folder as current folder. The default current folder is Documents/MATLAB on both PC and Mac. You can change this as discussed in bonus topics at the end of this chapter. The idea of making a folder as current folder is to make your project files directly visible to MATLAB. What do I mean by directly visible? Let's look at an example. I'll open sync2d.fig file using the open command. That is a beautiful plot of sync function in 2 variables. The way this works is, when MATLAB is asked to open a file, it searches the current folder for that file. MATLAB could locate the sync2d.fig in the current folder and hence opened it. However, if this file is moved out of current folder, MATLAB will not be able to find it and it will throw an error when we try to open it. Let's try and do that. I'll put the sync2d file back on my desktop and try to open it as before. I'll drag sync2d.fig from my MATLAB folder back to my desktop. Now you should be able to see that the current folder, MATLAB, no longer has the sync2d file. Let me go back to command window and reissue the open sync2d.fig command. As you can see, it throws an error, and the error explicitly says sync2d.fig is not found. Let me close the figure here. If a file doesn't exist in current folder, MATLAB will not know of its existence. Now, to make sync2d file visible to MATLAB, I have 2 options. First is I can move the file to my current folder. The second option is to make the directory containing sync2d file as my current folder. To do that, go to Toolbar and click the button with 3 dots beside the address bar, and that should open up a browse box. Navigate to the location of the folder you want to make as current folder, select it and click Open. Now sync2d.fig file is on my desktop, so I'll navigate to my desktop and I'll click Open. So desktop becomes my current folder and you can see the path of desktop here. Also notice the sync2d.fig file now visible in my current folder window. Let me now try to reissue the open command for the sync2d.fig file. And now it works. So we use current folder as a repository for our project files. At the bottom left corner of Matlab Desktop, you see a Start button. The bar at the very bottom on which the Start button sits is called as Status bar. Status bar tells you the current state of Matlab. If it's blank, as it is now, or if it says ready, it means Matlab is ready to accept commands. Sometimes you see a word busy there, which means Matlab is currently busy processing something or it's busy loading something. In fact, when we opened the sync2d.fig file for the very first time, this word busy appeared on the status bar for a couple of seconds. You should be able to rewind this video and spot it right there beside the Start button. All these windows are resizable. You can click and drag on any boundary to enlarge or shorten a window. The entire desktop can be reconfigured. You just have to click and drag on title bar of a window. For example, if I'd like my Workspace window to be in the bottom left corner rather than the top right corner, I'll click and drag on its title bar and release the pointer to shift my Workspace window there. You can also minimize, maximize, or close a window by using these little icons that appear on every title bar. The square icon maximizes a window and it hides all other windows. To restore it, click on the same icon. The minimize icon minimizes the window to a tab at either the far left or far right edge of the Matlab desktop. Let me restore that. You can detach any window by clicking on this outward pointing icon called as undock icon. And when I detach, my window gets floating. To dock the window back, I can click on this inward pointing icon. The icon at the far left closes a window. I can close my command history window, and if I have to reopen it, I can go to Desktop and check the option for command history. Alright, that was quite a bit we learned. Let's try to summarize. We saw that the central window is called as command window, and we use command window to communicate with Matlab. To the right of command window, I have Workspace window, which shows the variables in this session of Matlab. Below Workspace window is what is called as command history, which is a log of all commands issued in the command window. To the left of my command window is current folder, which is simply a cache for your project files. We saw that the full path of current folder appears in the address bar at the very top, and this is what we click on to change current folder. The bar at the very bottom on which the Start button sits is the status bar of Matlab that tells you the current state Matlab is in.